everybody. Welcome to TTWD, aka This Thing We're Doing. Today on this episode, me and Nick are going to be talking about Napoleon Dynamite, the animated series.
Yes, sir.
Something that both of us were unaware when we first watched Napoleon Dynamite, the live-action movie.
Well, actually, I had heard of an animated Napoleon Dynamite show from someone on YouTube, but I completely forgot about it until you mentioned it to me again.
Oh, I see. The synopsis of the animated film, it's too complicated. Nikolai, would you like to take it away from here?
Yeah, sure. Basically, Napoleon Dynamite is this weirdo kid who goes to school and is just a complete weirdo. And then in the movie, he makes a couple friends, Deb and Pedro, and they just do shit together. And then Pedro becomes the student body president in the movie. And then Napoleon does a dance. And then I think him and Deb kiss, but I don't think they do. I remember at the end of the movie, they end up playing tetherball together. And then the movie ends. Oh yeah, and his uncle tries scamming a bunch of people. Oh yeah, and Kip, his brother, gets with an internet lady who doesn't appear in the show for some reason.
That's right. A character from Napoleon Dynamite, a movie from, the early 2000s, has an e-girl.
Yeah.
I guess at that time it was just less technologically advanced. Nowadays we have stuff like Tinder, and used to be Omegle, used to be like chat roulette.
What happened to Omegle? I heard it got shut down.
Oh yeah, it did. It got shut down after like so many years of operating. Not sure the exact reasons. It could be because of some controversial things happening within sessions. You know, like there have been accusations of other fetishes being shown in Omegle. So could be a case of that, and they just decided to shut down instead of regulating it more.
Fair enough. I mean, well, when did it happen? Did it happen like a few weeks ago?
Around that time, yeah. It happened this month, so...
Huh. I only heard about it like the other day, so I wasn't actually sure how true it was.
Yeah, it was pretty anticlimactic, I'll be honest. Like, it wasn't such a, oh, well, Omegle is dying. Everyone is like, oh, Omegle's dying. Goodbye. That type of thing.
Oh well.
Yeah, oh well. Yeah, literally just, oh well, Omegle gone. Anyways, Napoleon Dynamite. Wait, why did we even start talking about dating and all that stuff? Was it like, oh yeah, Kip's e-girl?
Yeah, his ego.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so that was the beginning. Kip is also quite a pivotal character in the animated show. I like the, the repetitive quotes they make, like, jeez.
I love his voice. I like how weird he is. I like that he does his own thing. Just
yeah.
Actually, no, he's kind of a leech. He just leeches off the grandma and then just like follows her around and does whatever.
Yeah, basically. How old is he, by the way? I don't think it's revealed in the live action movie.
I think Kip is meant to be like in either his late 20s or like early 30s. I know he's meant to be a lot older than Napoleon.
Jeez, he has a mentality of a 14-year-old.
Let's talk about the fact that they brought back the entire original cast.
Yeah, they did. I didn't actually look. When was this show released? Like, which year?
The show was released in 2012, and I think the movie came out in 2004.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Yeah, that's like 8 years, huh?
It's kind of like, well, it's not like how the Scott program did it, but it kind of is.
I'm glad they didn't take like any impressionists. Their voices still sound the same after so many years, and their impressions are still on point. Yeah. Gosh. Dang it.
I wish I were a bird.
What do you think of this? Like, how would you rate this out of 10?
Honestly, I'd probably rate it, well, on IMDb, they give it like every episode like a 7.2, anywhere between like a 7 and a 7.7. So, and I agree with that. I say like 7.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad, but I feel like there was a lot of dead space in between in the whole episode, and I think 20 minutes was too long.
Yeah, I agree with that. This would have been ideal. Unlike many shows that we've seen in the past that we've reviewed on this podcast, we reviewed Mike Tyson Mysteries and Over the Garden Wall. Both shows ran for like 11 minutes. And in comparison, Napoleon Dynamite animated series is far longer, stretching about 21 minutes. And like, for once, I feel like this show went too long.
Yeah.
I think it would have been ideal if it just went for 11 minutes.
And they could have doubled the episode count if they wanted.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially because I feel like, well, it's not like as bad as Family Guy, but Family Guy, or at least past like season 8 or season 9, what they would do is they would have like a beginning setup that has nothing to do with the episode that's happening after.
Yeah, exactly. Also, like, yeah, talking about Family Guy, I feel like it's the sense of humor. Like, it's a mix of the original Napoleon Dynamite from the live action movie and also the sense of humor from Family Guy sitcom. Like, I feel like there's some kind of a mesh in there. You know how in Family Guy they always have this moment, like, there was this one time when I was fishing with Jordan Peele, and then they would do a cutoff. So sometimes it does that in the Napoleon Dynamite animated series. Like, I think it was in episode 5 or episode 4, where one of the characters, Rico, this tall, handsome guy with a mustache, he says, like, oh, just like that one time I was a regional failure at my town for losing a football game. And it just cuts off to him, like, playing football. And his team is literally named Rico's team. So,
But I don't think it's as bad as what Family Guy does, because even Family Guy itself makes fun of it. I remember there was an episode where Stewie and Brian, they time travel back to the first episode of Family Guy, and every time someone made like a reference to like a cutaway gag, everyone would just stand still and stare into space until the cutaway would be finished.
did that actually happen?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. How did I miss that? I actually want to see that now.
It's so weird. Actually, let's look it up now. It's well, I like it. I like that they pay attention to it, but then immediately after that, in like the next episode, they go back to doing the same thing, which is another problem with Family Guy, where like half the episode is just cutaway gags.
Aye. Family Guy never learns from its lessons, doesn't it?
Actually, apparently the newest season is meant to be pretty good, so I don't know. But that's after like 10, 12 years of having shit seasons, so.
Yeah. Maybe we could do a review on it. Wait, what is the new season?
Let me check. Season 22.
Okay, that is a pretty long runtime.
Yeah, all these episodes are averaging like a 6.0.
What other shows have this type of runtime? I think it was South Park, The Simpsons. The Simpsons is by far the longest running animated sitcom, I think. Speaking of Napoleon Dynamite's animated series runtime, it's only the first season, and afterwards they just canceled it.
Yeah, it did get cancelled. I don't remember why. I think there was low views, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, honestly, I would have liked to seen this go on a bit longer.
Yeah, me too, to be honest. It was pretty good. It had its own downsides, there were a lot of room for improvements, but like it in any ways, it still lives up to the original, that spark that Napoleon Dynamite had. The sense of humor, the personality of each character still lives up to what the people were like in the original movie. And I would have personally liked to see it continue like that for, I don't know, for as long as it would like. Unfortunate to see it only go down with the first season.
Yeah, but I guess that's what happens. A lot of Adult Swim shows are like that as well, where they'll just get cancelled after 1 or 2 seasons.
Yeah. Really hoping that Smiling Friends doesn't get cancelled.
No, I don't think it will.
Fingers crossed. What is your favorite episode out of all the episodes that you watched?
Probably the first one. The first one was probably the most wacky and weird. Like the one with the acne cream.
Oh yeah, the acne cream. Yeah, it was very wacky in comparison to the later episodes.
Well, I should let the viewers know. I didn't actually finish the series because my super duper legal website only had the first 4 episodes. Yeah, so I only watched up to episode 4. And whoa, actually on IMDb, the first episode has a 6.6. And well, I guess the last episode has the highest rating. It's 7.6.
Last episode. Oh yeah, I remember the last episode now.
Can you explain it to us?
Sure, for sure. So the last episode, I believe, it's about, the town they live in is called Preston, and they have this annual thing called the Preston Bed Racing. And each year, Grandma Dynamite, Napoleon Dynamite's grandma, would win this competition along with Kip. And basically, 2 people are on each set of the beds. One person has to be sitting on the bed while the other person has to be strolling it. It's basically like a marathon across Preston, and the first person who reached the finish line wins. So yeah,
Stinky.
Grandma Dynamite and Kip would annually win the race, with Rico and Napoleon Dynamite always finishing in second or whatever other places. But this time, Rico decided, no, that was enough. We're gonna win this race. And so while they were racing, they were both tied in with the Grandma Dynamite and Kip. They decide to cheat. And so what Rico does, he sneaks into a hospital while they're racing, steals some kind of an X-ray blanket, goes back to his bed, reaches Grandma, and first they blind Kip by smogging his glasses. Then they switch blankets on the bed. And so then Grandma's vision is also distorted. And Rico and Napoleon win the race, and they get like a lot of prizes. Napoleon wins a free napkin dispenser, so that's good. Rico gets to see the love of his life, an American cheerleader. Shit, hold on, I can't whistle. I'm trying to whistle, hold on. Shit, I can't whistle. Okay. Anyways, the American cheerleader. Who wouldn't want a female American cheerleader?
My heart.
She becomes his love interest. Napoleon goes back home, and then Grandma changes. You know how in the original movie and for most of the series, she's just pissed? She kind of changes after the race. She was like, she becomes nice. She becomes like a stereotypical grandma, you know, very nice, tries to fill you with food, gives you money, whatever. So then Napoleon gets depressed because his grandma isn't the same anymore. Pedro notices, and Napoleon comes up with the idea to like confess his sins, to confess the fact that he and Rico cheated during the war. The war? The race. Then Napoleon has a nightmare where all of the furniture in his room become alive and then start to kill him or something. He wakes up and he's like, gosh, dang it, gotta confess. And he goes up to Grandma and he's like, okay, well, we cheated during the race. And she just rips off her apron and he's like, okay, we gotta go to Rico. And at this point, Rico is having like a ceremony to celebrate the fact that he won the race. And the gang comes up just in time to reveal the truth that he cheated all along. And during this time, Grandma Dynamite, she sold her own car, the beige, whatever color the car is. And at the end of the episode, she forgives Rico for his sins. And then they decide to rob her car back. And yeah.
That sounds like a Napoleon Dynamite thing.
Yeah, that is totally Napoleon Dynamite, especially the bed racing.
What would you rate the episode?
How I would rate the episode? It felt like an hour long, to be honest, but it was pretty good, I suppose. I was entertained. I would give it a 7 out of 10.
Fair enough.
This kind of reminds me of Diary of the Wimpy Kid. I'm not sure if you read it. I'm not sure if you watched the movies.
Yeah, I've watched and read it.
So, like, a lot of wacky stuff that happened in the Diary of the Wimpy Kid, they happened similarly to Napoleon Dynamite. But there's a clear difference, between characters. Greg Heffley, he is kind of a narcissist, tries to impress the girls, he's a massive simp, always beats up his closest friend. In comparison, like Napoleon Dynamite, he just doesn't care about anyone. Whenever someone approaches, he's like, why do you talk so much? Gosh. And he always tries to lead people away from him. And for some reason, even though he debatably may not be physically attractive, he still manages to catch up with girls, especially the attractive ones. And he has a close friend, Pedro, who he doesn't really beat up. He treats him like an actual person.
Yeah, but then also Pedro is kind of all the time. So he's just kind of there, I guess. I think it's just because he doesn't talk that much. That's why Napoleon likes him.
Yeah, it could be. I like how each character is caricatured from the original movie. Like, they're accurately drawn, and their most iconic details are featured in the animated series, and their personalities amplified as well. So
I feel like the extended cast, like all the bullies, and remember like the bodyguard that Pedro has in the movie.
Yep.
I feel like the extended cast should have gotten a bit more time, because like Rex and his wife, they show up like from time to time, but I feel like they should have had more to do, I guess. Or at least the wife, because the wife is funny and I like her. She's funny. Well, they had the first episode, but after that, they don't really do anything. I mean, I guess they show up in the episode where like the Ligers appear and they start wrecking the town. And I think she bites one of them.
Yeah, she does. She stretches one of the Liger's skin with her teeth.
But I feel like Pedro's cousins, I feel like we should have got something with them. Because I think they only appear in like 1 or 2 scenes throughout the whole show, and then they're just never again seen.
Oh yeah, they appeared in Ligers, that's for sure. Not sure when they appeared again.
I'm on IMDb again, and I was looking through this list called Generic Garbage Cartoons, and for some reason Napoleon Dynamite is on it.
Generic garbage? Oh, what an insult.
And to be honest, it's not like the whole show has like a 6.4 rating, but I don't even think it's that bad. Like, there's way worse shows on here that are ranked higher and lower than it.
What kind of shows, by the way, are in the garbage thing?
Have you ever heard of Brickleberry?
Brickleberry? Nope, never.
It's the Family Guy clone. Have you heard of Paradise PD?
May have heard of it. People talk about it a lot, I think, but I'm not sure what it is about.
It's another Family Guy clone. Have you heard of Forget About It?
Forget about it. No. Let me guess. It's also a Family Guy ripoff.
Yep. There's The Prince, which is basically just like the royal family, but Family Guy.
Everything is just Family Guy.
There's Border Town as well, which is another Family Guy clone. Yeah, most of these are just Family Guy clones.
Wow.
Or like The Nut Shack is another show that's on here. It's not a Family Guy clone, but apparently it's not that great. But I've always wanted to see it.
Oh my gosh. Napoleon Dynamite is on number 11. How dare they? How dare they? Just come on.
The show at the bottom of the list, Alan whatever it's called, that show is way worse.
Alan Gregory.
I've seen 2 or 3 episodes. It is not good, man.
Maybe. Oh, should we do a review on this?
Oof. Sure, but we're gonna need like a month to watch it. It's not long. It's just very hard to get through.
Oh, really? How long is each episode?
It's about the same length as Napoleon.
All right. Well, I'm looking at the images right now. No shadows whatsoever on each character.
Yep.
As an artist, I am offended. Wow, every episode is like less than 5. The only episode above 5 is the episode 5 Full Blown Maids. I think this will be worth the watch just to make fun of it.
I guess most of the shows on this are pretty make funnable. Like I've seen Forget About It, and it's not good, but it's not terrible.
I think we know what to refer to when we run out of ideas for what to review on our podcast.
I don't even know what else there is to talk about this because it's just like a very well, it's decent. It's a decent show. That's my rating. It's a decent show. Watch it if you're bored.
There isn't really a plot connecting all of the episodes together other than the original story of the 2004 film. Everything else is just, anything that is emphasized in later episodes doesn't matter. Anyway, it's just, it's gone. And that is unlike Family Guy and South Park, where a lot of themes are repeated. At least some of the story plots that happen within the earlier episodes usually have reoccurrence in later episodes.
Yeah, I guess. And the only sad thing I could say about the show is that it never got to go past the first season, but I don't know how sad that is. If it kept going how it was, then I think it would be okay, but I don't think it would have got an audience like how Family Guy or how like South Park did.
It's kind of surprising how it didn't really gain a lot of traction, even though the 2004 film was quite popular.
I mean, yeah, I guess. But like, I don't actually know how popular the original movie was. I know people liked it, but it wasn't like a big blockbuster like Marvel movie type thing back in them days. I don't think I know people liked it, but I don't think it was like a super big thing. It's very niche. It's very weird. It's kind of like how JoJo is also super weird, and not many people have watched it. So it's like in the weird space where it's mainstream, but also not.
I suppose, yeah.
But I still like it.
I think we went through what we wanted to talk about. I think there really isn't like a lot more to talk about. I didn't even like make any notes about Napoleon Dynamite. I don't know why. I could have, but I just didn't.
I'll leave the audience with a quote from the first episode. Kip, you will never end up under a woman.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that was Napoleon Dynamite, the animated series. We have our own personal lives to deal with, so it might not come as you personally wished or how we wished, so...
Surprise, we have personal lives. You never would have expected that.
Yeah, they wouldn't. They always think that we're robots, Every time we stop an episode, we just turn down.
Nah, we're chronically online all the time. That's how people think of us, I know.
True, yeah. Anyways, we have a full list of animated series, other stuff that we wanted to go over, but that'll be in later dates. So, I hope you enjoyed this episode of this thing we're doing. Make sure to like and subscribe. What else? Fund my college, maybe, if you want to. I don't know. I don't care. So,
give us kisses in the comments.
Yeah, exactly. And without further ado, I'm a sex addict.
This is a thing we... Actually, no, Kip won't... whatever. This is a thing we did, yeah.
Yeah.